New York is a character in this show.
Yes, as it often is.
As it often is.
Yes.
You were the first one to think
Yes.
it's a character.
It's a character.
But you put it in your neighborhood. It's the East Village show.
And
now you're walking around. You basically now are are very much the character you played and you're walking around the set.
It has become some sort of a meta snow globe nightmare like I cannot even describe. The other day I walked out and it's like in my mind it's going to be like Christopher Walken and Abel Ferrara's King of New York. You know what I mean? Looking down, coked up, and what a city, what a city. And instead, it's me in the East Village, and I was going to meet a friend for breakfast, and I was like, at Odessa, across the street from Tompkins Square Park, which was already ironic. If you've seen the show, spoiler alert, the diner's in it. And so there I was, I'd sort of forgotten my iPhone. So I was walking around with like an iPad as though it was a phone, which was already like it just doesn't make you look particularly sane if that's the vibe you're going for. And I had a big overcoat, but it was kind of too sunny because who knows what's happening with the global warming, et cetera. And you never know what season it's going to be, do you? And then I just had a little bit of ash on my collar, don't smoke, and I stumbled in to Tompkins right where I had like shot listed at Odessa. And then there were people there, and I ended up in the booth, like exactly where Nadia, the character from the show, sat waiting for Alan, the wonderful Charlie Barnett. And instead I was waiting for my friend, who was not him, thank goodness.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, oh, this is really, I've created a bit of a nightmare here, where I'm living within the thing. And, when I get hit by a taxi, I won't be surprised, suffice to say. That's really...
One of the things about your character, you mentioned getting hit by a taxi. That's one of the many ways your character dies in New York City.
Thank you. Not a compliment.
You strike me as someone... do you see danger everywhere in this city?
Sure. You know, but danger and yet a relief. A sort of a white noise silence that would follow.
Because you got to watch. Here's a couple of your body doubles.
Yes, that's
did the
Tawny, my wonderful stand-in, and this is Becca, who has, I guess, soft bones and a rubber body. She is a magical creature. I don't know, but yes. And for me, it was such a joy to see this many doppelgangers. It really speaks to my sort of brain damage.
What spoke to me. Watching that New York thing of the metal door that leads to the basement stairs.
Your father, you can't be walking around willy-nilly.
And now more than ever, because people are on their phones all the time, I can't believe every day the front page of the New York Times is another person fell down.
Maybe it is, and we're just ignoring it.
Yeah, that's
true. We don't pay attention anymore.
I'm looking at my phone, so I'm not reading the New York Times. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, and definitely I think, the most problematic, and I've been, intensely vocal in a way that no one's listened to, is the bicycles, Seth. The bicycles.
You're no fan of the bicycles.
They just listen, who loves the environment more than me? And yet, this bicycle lane is a nightmare for the city. Remember jaywalking?
Yeah.
Jaywalking was the best. It was like, I'm a New Yorker, right? Look at this. Jaywalking. And littering. No, littering is bad. But jaywalking was like a real New York joy because you looked kind of cool. You looked over your shoulder, you know what I mean? You felt like Lou Reed. And now, instead, it's like a bicycle zipping by in all directions.
I'm a fan of bikes as well. I don't want to be negative bikes.
I love I said very clearly, I love the environment.
Yeah, we're pro-bike. My issue is when the bikes think that they don't have to live by the traffic laws.
Yeah, but only in New York. Are you like, if you're a pedestrian, I have the right of way. I'm a taxi driver. I'm Mr. Uber. I'm in charge. Bicycle, give me the right of way. That's a New Yorker. It's a New York spirit. I'm always right and you're wrong. Right?
Well, I think everybody, just assumes that whatever is one step up is a monster. So if you're a pedestrian, a bike, the fact that somebody's on two wheels, they might as well be a Hummer SUV. You're like, you monster!
Survival of the fittest, this city.
One of the things that has already been asked, and I should note that if you never made another episode of Russian Doll, you would be in a great situation of having created this perfectly formed thing. But people are asking you a lot, I would assume, are you going to make more?
Yes.
And is it exhausting that you finally got this product you made out and immediately people are like, so?
This is what's so helpful about the experience of Netflix. And I'm so grateful that I had it, these 7 years we just finished, Orange is the New Black. It's very heavy, very heavy scene. And, thanks.
7 years, amazing.
We're very tight. So, But what I learned from that show, thankfully, is, you know, all year, everybody waits for the show to come out. It's a 13-hour show. They consume it in under 30 minutes flat. I don't know how they do it. That's where I learned about the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
I used so effectively in Russian Doll was in the way that these people break time on Netflix, and so I'm used to it. You know what I mean? This idea of like, I like it, give me more. It's a compliment, but you know, it's important for us to remember, like Janis Joplin said, we've only got one day, man, etc. So take it easy, take it easy.
Well, Natasha, I texted you as soon as I watched this show, and I really, it is such a special show.
And I wrote New Phone Who Dis.
You did? You really did write New Phone Who Dis?
I did. I knew it was, I did.
Yeah, that is. I really bore my heart. I was like, you've made this very special thing, and you wrote thank you, Who Dis.
But I feel like you changed your number. In that moment, I was like, oh, Seth has a different number for when he likes stuff. Gotcha.
Exactly, yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm going to take out my compliment phone. Yeah. But it is a really special show, and I know a lot of great people worked on it, but the heart of it is what a special person you are, and it's just so great to see it over the course of a season of television. And thanks for being here. It's just always such a pleasure. Natasha Lyonne, everybody.